Hello and welcome to the Gay Cruise and Travel Podcast with me, just Joey T. All right, hope everyone's enjoying this podcast so far. The first two episodes that I have posted has been more about general consumer advice about some upcoming 2025 Atlantis cruises that seem to be booking pretty quickly, selling pretty quickly. But this podcast won't all just be about upcoming Atlantis cruises and going through the ships and the different room rates and whether I think you should book it or not and that kind of stuff. This week, we're going to switch gears a bit and talk about the culture, if you will, and how different things are in terms of meeting people on a cruise. And with that, there's going to be a story that I'm going to tell you about my very first time on a cruise, which was also my first time on an Atlantis cruise. So I also have a personal podcast, which is called He's Hot, but Something's Off. By the way, the quote unquote he in that title of that personal podcast is not referring to myself. There's a group chat that a bunch of us are in and we're all close friends. One day randomly, one of us posted a photo of some random guy at the gym. You know, I've done it a few times where there's like a really hot guy at the gym and you try to like sneak a photo of the guy and you send it to your friends. I don't do it all the time. I swear, I do not do it all the time. But anyways, in this group chat, someone sneaked a photo of some hot guy at the gym, posted it onto this group chat. And then my friend Jeremy in the group chat literally said, he's hot, but something's off. And I thought, for whatever reason, that'd be a really fitting title for my personal podcast. Anyways, I was talking about how on a gay cruise, the world kind of goes upside down. It's this parallel universe where everyone is gay. Because here on land, it's a straight world. Even if you're in the Castro in San Francisco, even I'm sitting here in West Hollywood in Los Angeles, it could be Hell's Kitchen in New York. It still feels like a straight world. However, on a gay cruise, that is like flipped on its head. It's literally a gay world. On some level, that sounds obvious, but as gay people, some of the things that we do to just live our everyday lives in society where everyone's assumed to be straight, I feel, at least for me personally, as a gay person, I kind of do these things in my daily life to kind of cater to the fact that society just blankly assumes by default everyone is straight without even thinking about it, without even giving it a second thought. I just kind of have learned to conform myself to quote unquote straight society and some of the things that I do to exist in this straight society. It's been automatic and I don't think about these things. But when I go on a gay cruise, that social construct, if you will, it's basically completely shattered. It's one of the things that I love about being a gay cruise. Yeah, you watch videos, some of which I've made on YouTube, and you kind of heard here and there, like, oh yeah, it's all gay guys. Some of them are really hot. People have sex and there are parties. Like, yeah, there are gay cruises that have all of that stuff. But parts of the gay cruises that might not be so obvious, again, it's just this construct that this is a world where gay is the default. And I know of no place on land where I can live like that. It messes with your head a little bit the first time you go on a gay cruise because, at least for me, the first time I went on a gay cruise, I was already so used to acting a certain way in a straight society. But then when I go on this gay cruise, then I discovered, oh, like I was doing all these things when I was on land in like quote unquote like straight world that I didn't even know I was doing until I came to this place where it's not a straight world. A gay cruise is a gay world. Like everyone is kind of assumed to be gay by default. So the story I want to tell today is a story of the very first time I was on a cruise, which also happens to be an Atlantis gay cruise. Hey, when was the last time you really took care of your skin? The skin is the largest organ in the whole human body and is doing so much for you. It protects you from germs and cooties. It keeps you warm when you're cold. It keeps you cool when you're hot. It's making vitamin D. It gives you the gift of touch and sensation. And that's just scratching the surface, so you better take care of it. I started my own skincare company, Serve Labs, to serve fun and functional skincare for everyone, so that you can serve fun while serving face. Go to servelabs.co, servelabs.co, or follow us at Serve Labs on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, and discover how easy and fun it is to treat your skin right with Serve Labs. So it's the October 2015 cruise, and Atlantis, they run a cruise every October from California. It's either from San Diego or from Long Beach, usually. It depends on the exact cruise they're able to get that year. But it runs from SoCal to Mexico. Earlier that year in 2015, I had just recently, my roommate at the time, we're good friends, my friend Charles, we had just moved up into San Francisco. We were down in Silicon Valley because we both worked in tech. We were kind of sort of like newbie gays in some ways. He had just moved to California 1 or 2 years before. I was young and impressionable, and I didn't really know a lot about a lot of parts of gay culture I still didn't realize or know of at that time. But both being fairly fresh to the Bay Area, we both started to develop and kind of make more friends. And, naturally, a lot of them were gay friends, gay men like us. Eventually, we both moved into an apartment together. That was our first apartment in San Francisco. I still remember it. We have so many good memories there. We drove up in the U-Haul. He had a bunch of furniture with him that he brought from I don't know where. He had all the furniture. I had nothing. I just had my mattress and my personal belongings. It was all his furniture that we were driving up. And we rented this apartment where from the rooftop of that little apartment building, you can see Dolores Park, which is kind of in the gay area of San Francisco. We ended up basically living in the heart of the Castro, in the heart of the gay neighborhood in San Francisco. So that was very special for us. So we moved up there, and then we started hanging out more and more kind of with this gay group of friends that we're trying to develop. A couple of boys in that group told Charles and I that, hey, we're actually going on this gay cruise that's going to go from, SoCal down to Mexico. We're already booked on it. If you guys want, why don't you guys book it? And then, we can all go on this cruise together. So me and Charles are oh, this sounds like fun. This is cool. At that point, I knew nothing about cruises. I never thought about cruises. I didn't know what a gay cruise was. I didn't know anything. I didn't even know of Atlantis. Up until that point, the only travel I did was to go back home to Vancouver to visit my family a few times a year. Didn't really take any vacations. I had some work trips every once in a great while. I never went to any parties. I never took any vacations. I was living a basic, boring life, just going to work on the weekdays. On the weekends, I would just do some homebody type thing, not really doing that much. But this group of friends we're starting to get to know in San Francisco. They go to parties and things like that, which is fun. So when they said they were going on this gay cruise, we thought, oh, why not? Let's do it. This could be a really fun thing. So me and my friend Charles, we booked a room together. We were roommates on that cruise. We boarded, and Charles said that he was tired, that he was going to go take a nap. And I was like, okay, sure. And I was excited to be on a cruise ship. I'd never been on a cruise ship before. I knew nothing about cruise ships. I was so happy that these friends invited us on board. They were unpacking, and I didn't know where they were. When Charles said, oh, I'm tired, I'm going to take a nap, and I said, okay, sure. And I thought, why don't I just wander around? Maybe I can just walk around a little bit and just see what's out there. I want to kind of check out, hey, I've never been on a cruise ship before. What does a cruise ship look like? I was quite a bit more introverted back then. I'm not, even still today, I'm not really a person that, in a normal situation, I've been on so many gay cruises. On a gay cruise, I feel comfortable now on a gay cruise to just go talk to random people, usually, not all the time. But back then, I was more of a shy kid. And when I'm in an unfamiliar situation, I just keep to myself. That's just my nature. Especially when I was younger, I used to be more shy before. I was just going to walk around the ship a little bit by myself and just see what the ship was like, not really trying to talk to. I remember leaving my room, taking my key card with me, shutting the door behind me, and we're at the back of the ship, so I just walked up the corridor, up the hallway, and there are other boys that were, wheeling the luggage to their room, People were still boarding at that time. And maybe just 30, 40, 50 feet up, I see this group of guys. There's maybe like, I don't know, like a small group, 4 or 6 people, 4 or 6 guys. I didn't really think anything about it. Like the people were still boarding. Obviously, there would be like people all around. And again, I was like more like a shy, introverted person. My default thing when I see people in like a public space is like not to make eye contact. They're just strangers. This is a hallway I'm just trying to walk by. So I just walk by them, right? When you're on a cruise ship and you're in the hallway and someone's coming your way, there's no way you won't notice them. The corridors on a cruise ship are not super wide when you're kind of the hallways that are where the staterooms are. They're not super wide. Doesn't matter if it's like the biggest cruise ship in the world. The hallways are just not that wide. These boys seem to be loitering. They're like looking at stuff on a door is what I remember. So they weren't walking down the hallway. They were just like standing outside a door looking at it for some reason. So I didn't think anything of it. I thought, well, that's none of my business what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing, but it's none of my business. I was just trying to like explore the ship and I was just going to walk by. They see me coming because again, you notice when someone's walking towards you in the corridors and they kind of like scooch to one side a little bit. Then I just do my normal thing of like, okay, just like scooch by, don't make eye contact, and I was on my way. And I didn't have anywhere to go, so I was walking very quickly. Shortly after I squeezed by them, I didn't exactly remember what they said, but one of the guys in that little group said something to me after I had passed them, a few paces down the hallway after I passed them. They said something, and for whatever reason, usually if someone does like, not that I usually get catcalls or anything like that, but if someone is trying to like say hi to me in like a public situation, just like, hey, how you doing, blah, blah. If it was that type of situation where I was walking by, I would just like smile and nod and kind of carry on doing my thing. I wouldn't usually stop and strike up conversation because that's not usually the type of person that I am if it's like a public space. And I don't remember exactly what that person said to me. This person who would turn to be now one of my good friends, he remembered exactly what he said. I'm going to have to ask him what he said, but like, he remembers. Apparently it was like some sort of like greeting / flirtatious thing, but that's his nature. But for whatever reason, I guess because I was in a good mood, I was on a gay cruise, I didn't really have anywhere to go. I was just trying to like explore the ship. For whatever reason, I stopped and like turned back to like say hi, even though usually I wouldn't do that. But even to this day, I couldn't tell you what exactly it was that caused me to stop when I knew that all my life up until that point, if that were to happen normally on land in a normal day-to-day situation, I would not have stopped. I would have just like have kept going. So I still can't tell you even to this day why I decided to like respond to this person and like stop and turn back. That group of people are now some of my close friends, not accidentally because they try to like catcall / say hi to me. I need to actually message him one of these days and figure out and ask him again exactly what he said and write it down because I can never remember these things. I turned back. We were like making small talk. It turns out that they were looking at the door decorations. When you go on a gay cruise, it's quite popular to put up photos of yourself and put decorations on the outside of your door of your stateroom so that when people walk by, they know that, oh, it's like John's room and like there's some photos of John and maybe there's like a little whiteboard that they can leave you notes in. And we call this door decorations. I've got a whole YouTube video about it. You can go into my YouTube channel, just Joey T, and just search door decorations or door decor. You'll find a video that I've done all about door decorations that explains exactly what it is and how to do your own door decorations if you go on a gay cruise. But they were basically going door to door, just looking at people's door decorations. That's why they looked like they were kind of loitering and they weren't really walking very quickly. They were just looking at people's doors. Yeah, so I ended up hanging out with them while everyone was boarding. I was hanging out with them a little bit, got to know them. And from that's how I met one of my close circle of friends. Okay, can I tell you something for real? Skincare is not really a sexy topic. No one's waking up in the middle of the night thinking, oh my God, I have to take care of my skin. I know I talk a lot on the podcast. I have a lot of opinions and I have a lot of advice to give. But if you don't listen to me about anything, listen to me about this You have to take care of yourself, and you also have to take care of your skin. I believe in it so much, and I think it's such a critical thing that I started my own skincare company, Serve Labs, to serve fun and functional skincare for everyone. And you know what? Not to toot my own horn, but people are always telling me, your skin looks so good, and I can't believe how old you are. Do you know why? Because I've been taking care of my skin for many, many years. But I know, for a lot of you, skincare just sounds like another chore. But I want to make it fun. And that's where Serve Labs comes in. Go to servelabs.co, servelabs.co, or follow us at Serve Labs on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, and discover how easy and fun it is to treat your skin right with Serve Labs. But I tell that story to kind of give an example of how easy it can be to meet people, and how, meeting people on a gay cruise as a gay person, it just is different from the everyday world. And sometimes you can't always put a finger on exactly what that is. I mean, I still, again, can't tell you why. I stopped and turned around that one day in October of 2015 to talk to these random strangers when normally in everyday life on land, I would not have done that. Whatever was in the air, they were pumping through the vents. I guess it would have worked. But yeah, if you've not been on a gay cruise before, or even if you have been on a gay cruise maybe once or twice, you're still fairly new to it. One of the questions that I see prospective cruisers or brand new cruisers that have just booked their first cruise, or even ones that might have been on a cruise once or twice, especially solo cruisers, ones that are maybe going on a cruise solo, a lot of them ask, how do I meet people on a gay cruise? I can easily list out, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things to try. But I think part of it is not like specific actions or things you can do or to know in advance to like study up on. Partially, it's just when you're on the cruise and it's just how you're feeling in that moment, because it relies on, your emotions at a particular moment in time, which is affected by the environment and your surroundings and by the people that are around you. So part of meeting people on a gay cruise, obviously the gay cruise, again, just by the sheer fact that gay is the default on a gay cruise. So that's one less gigantic barrier compared to the real world where, people just assume everyone's straight. That's one barrier removed. But just being on a gay cruise, the environment and the surrounding and the people that are on it, that will grow on you. In my opinion, that is part of what makes it easier and will help you make new friends. I mean, there are going to be people that are going to be very introverted. I'm actually an introvert. I know a lot about gay cruises. I've been on a lot of gay cruises, and I have met a lot of friends on various gay cruises. If you see me on a gay cruise, there is a 50-50 chance that you catch me either in a solo introverted moment or state of mind, or you catch me in like at a party. Maybe I've had a couple of drinks and I'm a more extroverted person. So all of these factors is going to play into the process of meeting new friends or whoever when you're on a cruise. Anyone could list up a list of like, oh, keep an open mind, say hi to people, like tangible things you can do. But I think part of it is when you're on the cruise, you'll probably feel a little bit different to how you feel on land just because of the environment, the surrounding, the atmosphere. If you lean on that, I think that is going to help you open up a little bit. And I think that is going to be a factor in helping you meet new people on a gay cruise, whether you're traveling solo or you went on to the cruise with your significant other or with friends. Whether you are an extrovert or an introvert, I think just being on a gay cruise, there's an intangible there. And then for most people, that intangible, it helps them meet more people. It helps them open up in a way that they wouldn't in real life. by the way, if you guys have any specific type of gay cruise or gay travel related topics you would like me to talk about, I would love to hear from you. Feel free to comment, especially on the YouTube channel. If you're watching this on YouTube, go nuts in the comments. Just keep it respectful, but feel free to ask any gay cruise or travel related questions you might have. If there's a topic you would like me to talk about, I would love to hear from you. Comment down. Quick preview for you guys. The next big cruise coming up for Atlantis is the Allure 2025 cruise. So this is called, quote unquote, the big one. It's going to be on Royal Caribbean's Allure of the Seas, one of the biggest cruise ships in the world. And this one, girl, it's a party cruise. This is the partiest cruise on the whole Atlantis calendar of the year. It has been for several years, and I've been on the vast majority of them because I'm a bit of a party boy. And I will be on that cruise as well, sailing in February. With this podcast, as we get closer to that Allure 2025 cruise, because I know a lot of you are booked on that cruise. It's already sold out. It's going to be jam-packed. It's going to be so much fun. I'm looking forward to partying on that cruise with you guys. In the lead up to that, especially in January, I'm going to be doing a series of the podcast episodes to help as many of you as possible get ready for that cruise, especially for those of you who are newer to cruising. Maybe this might be your very first cruise. Yeah, so I'll be talking about, packing for a cruise. When the cruisification guide for that cruise comes out, I'm going to do hopefully a podcast episode on that. We're going to talk about the party themes and some party outfit ideas once those are released by Atlantis, either late December or early in January. So stay tuned, stay subscribed to this podcast. I'm really excited to help you guys, for the ones that are booked on that Allure cruise, to give you guys some advice so that you can have the best cruise vacation possible. But again, please subscribe. Got lots more content coming up, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye, y'all.